Welcome to my channel as always, everyone. My name is MrCertifiedHigh, and we are back with another speed build and actually another tiny home. This one is just a box, though. It's not like I wasn't planning on doing, a box challenge. It wasn't like we're gonna build a box and then, make it look nice. There was no challenge aspect to it, although obviously if you're building a box, there is always that challenge. But really, these are based off of some prefabricated homes that I've seen kind of around the internet. They seem to be like a style kind of going on, and this is just one of them that I happened to see. And like most of my builds, I liked it and I decided I wanted to put it in the Sims. So here we are, putting it in the Sims. So I really liked how the real house, or the real, I don't know what you want to call it, had that black outlines kind of on everything. It was this nice white on this black outline, and there's this wood section that you just saw. Now I wish they had a pole that came across the top. So I have those two horizontal ones, or sorry, those two vertical ones. I wish I had a horizontal one going across in between those two, because that's kind of how the real house looks like. It actually looks like it's almost indented, maybe even a little bit. And then the real house actually has a huge deck, but in order to make it a micro home and to keep it within starting price, I decided to lose the deck and just go with the staircase up. So if you were to play this and you wanted to add on something, I would recommend a deck. It's not like a huge deck, but it is up front, actually. It's not in the back. And it kind of wraps around the side, just of the left side of the house. It looks really nice in the pictures, but like I said, for those reasons, I didn't want to put it in the build, just to keep it a micro home and to keep it a starter. So you actually do have two tiles to use, which maybe I could have used them. Maybe you could expand the front deck a little bit, like put one tile on either side of the stairs. That's always an option as well. But again, I think just for the sake of the build, I think the 30 tiles makes sense, and keeping it in a box makes sense as well. So it's not necessarily supposed to be eco-friendly, but we do use a lot of eco-lifestyle stuff. And I bet just by the nature of it being a super micro home, it probably is pretty eco-friendly, just because it doesn't, I don't even think there's a TV in there. It's just this tiny kitchen, a bathroom, and then a bed with a desk and like a little chair kind of reading nook area that is available as well. So I was trying to play around with these doors. I wanted to use the glass door, even though it is a bathroom. I felt like, it is a studio. There's no point really of trying to put this veiled layer of privacy. So we could use a glass door to the bathroom. Although I guess it is a little weird because the front door is a bathroom, or sorry, the front door is glass as well. And so the front door sees right into the bathroom. So maybe that's why you wouldn't want it, but in real life, I imagine you'd probably have a curtain even in front of your door, something that kind of shuts in front of those doors. Oftentimes with glass doors, especially like big glass areas, big glass doors, or any sort of big glass portion of a front door in real life, they're either stained glass to the point that you can't really see through, so maybe like frosted up a little bit, or they have, some sort of curtain that kind of covers the glass portion only. I've lived in houses with both those features, so it definitely something that could be used in The Sims. But I like the glass sliding door that I used, so I didn't want to look into any of those more stained glass doors. I don't think there are too many of them anyways. Now this desk I really wanted to use, but it took up so much space for just a desk, and I really wanted to add that. I will probably eventually use this combo there soon. It kind of looks like the desk connects into this bookshelf thing. And I even clipped the little pot at the bottom, kind of so it looks like it actually starts at the desk and not on its own little thing. And I really do like that with this desk. Like I said, I really want to use it somewhere else, but in this build, we actually do end up taking that away, just because it was a lot. It took up a lot of room, and again, in something like this, in a build like this, and in a house like this, I feel like you would generally try to minimize everything's probably shrunk. That's why there's only one counter that you're cooking on in a stove. Now of course in the real build, in the real house was technically two counters, and they had like one of those 2-burner countertop stoves, but I didn't want to use any custom content. I know there is custom content that does have those counters in it, or those type of like a stove like that is kind of like a countertop stove, but again, I just didn't want to use it. Any custom content. I've shied away from custom content really in all my builds. Maybe when when things go well and I start, I don't know, doing a little better, we might see about custom content again. But right now, I just feel like I don't really want to put custom content in my builds. I think it restricts things too much. You have to, plus you have to share where you got those custom content. And you know, now looking on it, if any new custom content I get, I definitely would save the link so I can then link to it later. But I definitely don't know. I don't want to go through my entire custom content folder and, you know, find all the links for it. And I just don't want to really go through the hassle of that right now. So I probably will not be doing that right now anytime soon. I do have custom content back in my game though, mainly for Create a Sim. I thought I had some objects, but I didn't see them when I played with it, or when I played The Sims, I didn't see any custom content, like just kind of going around. And like I said, I know I have objects, custom content, like, you know, household objects, from like Kitchen and a bunch of those type of creators. I think even Grim Cookies, I have some of his custom content that's object. So I don't know if maybe they didn't save when I saved my mods folder, when after I reset my computer or before I reset my computer. So maybe they didn't save and I actually don't have any custom content in. But I think I do. Even if I don't, it won't be a huge deal. I think it could be fun to maybe do a custom content video, and you can see kind of the where I like to go and get custom content, and like what custom content I like to use. Now earlier you probably saw me try to cover up some of these windows. I think one of them is still has, yeah, it does still have the curtain in front of it. We do end up removing all the curtains from this house. Again, I think this house would obviously have curtains. I just feel like all the curtains in The Sims really take away from it. Now, in my mind, where I'd love for this house to be would be like in the middle of nowhere. But there really isn't any middle of nowhere lots. There was one that I thought about doing it on in, oh man, I forgot the name of that. But the one in the world that came out with Get Together, Windenburg or Willow Creek. That's not Willow Creek. I think this is Willow Creek, right? The first base game world is Willow Creek. It's one of those things. One of those. It's the one that came in Get Together. That's kind of has an island, and it's one of the bigger worlds in the game. I think there is a lot there that this could fit into, but that's actually a 20 by 20. This lot is a 20 by 15, and I felt like it just fit perfectly since it's such a tiny home that it fit perfectly into this lot and into the size. And we also, I think, kind of cut back on some of the artwork towards the end of the build. We're going to take away some of it just because I felt like it was too cluttered. And I really feel like if you're moving into a place like this, I mean, honestly, you want minimal. Like, you're either trying to save money or save space. And I kind of resonate with both, especially right now. You know, trying to save money or save space. I live in a city. I get that. Now, this obviously is not a city home. But I would love something like this. Now, again, in real life, they're super expensive. These are like this one with a bathroom is like $123,000, which, sure, okay, that's, you know, it's a house, so it makes sense you're paying that much. But mind you, you don't pay for any of the land because they're all pre-made and they move to the lot you want to move to. So you have to buy the land, and then you have to, and then for what it is, it's not that big. It's like, honestly, it's about the size of my apartment. Like, so, I mean, I'm not paying that. I guess probably if I lived here forever, I'd pay close to that, or probably would pay that. But right now, I mean, I'm not paying that. And I just think that'd be a crazy price to pay. Now, you can get it without the bathroom. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but maybe you want to use a porta potty or whatever your case may be that you don't need a bathroom for it. They're a little cheaper and they give you a little more room. But obviously, like I said, I don't know why you'd want to do that. I don't know why you'd want to get rid of a bathroom in a house. Now, I do think these could be a fun, just like the last tiny house, that was a tiny home. So like the last tiny home I built, this could be fun, you know, maybe in Granite Falls. Again, those lots are pretty big. This is a 20 by 15 lot, and it's already pretty tiny for the lot. You know, the actual house does not take up a lot of this lot. But the smallest lot in Granite Falls is a 30 by 20, I believe. So it's not going to fit perfectly in there, I will admit. And that's why I think it's just a good starter home to move in. I imagine a young, kind of trendy sim wants to move in here, starter home. It fits really well. And like I said, obviously you can expand it. You could even add, a little bit behind it. If you wanted to, you could expand either way if you wanted to. I wouldn't probably want to expand this just because I think it so fits what it does as a box. But the only thing I would do an add-on to would be kind of make a corner of the house be that deck. Because I do think it looks really good having that deck there. Now, the only upsetting thing about the deck is, in this lot at least, you're not really looking at much. You're just looking at the street. And of course, in the pictures that I saw, they was like, you know, on this hilltop, and it was looking over kind of some rolling hills and trees. It was really nice. Obviously, you're not going to get that view here, but I think it could still be nice. So anyways, you're seeing a lot of the house itself is white. It's just a very bland kind of white house. So we do try to add some color to it. I try to add this. I don't think we actually end up keeping that, those lights, but we obviously have the bed kind of creating some color. We do have that one painting creating some color, and then the chair and the little poof thing, box square thing, I don't know what you call it, also creates some light as well. And then we do get rid of that, you'll see in a second, but we're going to get rid of that little end table thing at the kind of by the bathroom door. I just felt like that's too much there. I felt like I really wanted to leave that open for the most part. So we do get rid of that. And then I don't know if I really wanted to use these lights. I feel like I kind of forced them there. And especially watching it now, I definitely feel like I kind of forced them there. I just don't know what else I'd put there, to be honest. And I think the lights, I love the lights. And I did feel like I wanted them there, but I don't know. Maybe I'd make them a little bigger or move them more towards the middle. I think technically the bed could sit in the middle of that little section. You just obviously have to get rid of the dresser. But if you wanted to do that, you could easily put the dresser next to the desk, or get rid of the desk altogether, and put that there. Now, we're kind of just going back and forth trying to play with little things. So like I said, I wanted to keep this pretty minimal for what it is. So we're just more... Basically, what you see right now is pretty much kind of the way it ends up. I don't think we put anything too obtrusive anywhere else. Other than landscaping, we do landscape. Right now, I think what's a house at $12,000 or $13,000. So we had quite a bit of money for landscaping. So I was actually able to landscape a nice starter home and like landscape it nicely. And I don't know if I necessarily did a great job at it. I did this weird bush thing at the end that kind of allowed it to have a fireplace, which was an interesting one. Again, I kind of wanted to keep that vibey woods kind of that the original house I thought of had now, so that's why I put the fireplace there. But I also feel like you kind of get a good view out back. Like you get that canal, and then of course in the very back of it, it's like shipping containers. I think you even see it in the screenshots, or in one of the screenshots, you're gonna see like the shipping containers in the background, which I didn't even know were in this world. So that's not super nice, but there is this nice canal, and you have like kind of nice wooded area, and then you can fish back there. So it is nice. I don't know. I guess I would have probably left that white framed with the orange fabric in the middle. I would have probably left that in there because I actually kind of liked how that worked with the orange chair. But I do not remember if we kept the orange chair or not. We do change out some of these things, and then once we start landscaping right about here, we do remove some things, just things that aren't super important, and make it a lot more minimal, really. Because I wanted to landscape, and I didn't want to be restricted by price at landscaping. I think the grand total comes out to like 19,000 something. So I mean, we're probably only about 200,000 off from it not being a starter. So we really were kind of balancing that budget between landscaping and then keeping the house minimal. I've never used these debug rocks as like walkways. I see a lot of people do them. I've used something similar. I've like the rugs that kind of look like a rock. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. I've used those as like a walkway, but I've never used this one as a walkway. I really do like how that looked, especially in this lot specifically. But I think I might start using those a lot more. I don't know. It was the pattern's a little off. I think it's too... I was trying to make it look natural, but of course my like OCD made it look very purposefully placed, which I think is good, but also like, you know, is probably too purposefully placed. Like I think it didn't look as natural as I wanted it to. I was trying to balance my OCD between don't want things to be mismatched and balance the natural look of it. And I did an alright job, but you know, not an amazing job. So this is what I'm talking about. I did this weird kind of thing with these bushes, kind of bringing them out. I don't know why. Again, I kind of just wanted to make the campfire area feel a little more, you know, secluded maybe, and kind of have bushes. I thought about using the taller bushes, and honestly I could have. That would have made it more secluded, the feeling of it. And then of course we had some trees, and I like the area. Like I said, I like the campfire area. I love a good campfire. Truthfully, I think like that's one thing I think I miss living it, like about living kind of where I used to live, and especially growing up in high school, I feel like we always had bonfires or campfires at our houses, and so I really feel like I love that vibe and the general feeling you get around being by a nice fire, going camping, or even you kind of get that same feeling going camping, I guess. And I wanted to have that in this house. I felt like this house is supposed to be cozy. You know, obviously it's super small. And then I guess also if you're gonna play with it, I would again, I imagine someone who is eco-friendly just because of the nature of this house being so small. I mean, most people, I would say, if you don't care at all about the environment, I would almost put money on it that you wouldn't move into a tiny home. Unless you were very like minimal of a person and you're like super practical, then maybe you would. But for the most part, I think you wouldn't, because you wouldn't care about the environmental impacts that large homes have. But I could be wrong. I don't want to put some prejudgments on that. But you know, like I said, I was trying to put some solar panels just to help the environment out some more. And I think that's what I would do if I ever do a playthrough or something in this house. I would definitely put some solar panels up on that roof. Also, I think it kind of cuts off the green. Like, I like the green roof, I like the grass roof, but I also feel like it's a little too much. It's at times, you know, so maybe putting some solar panels to kind of cut it up and give it a little different of a look could also work. I did think about using the solar panel roof, but I just decided against that. And then the last video, we did something similar to this right here, where we kind of messed with we put like a bunch of those flowers in the middle of some other flowers. And so we did that again. I don't know why, I just really like the way that looked in the last build. Truthfully, I think I liked the last build's version of it a lot better. I don't like this one as much, but I still think it turned out quite all right. And we do end up, like I said, you know, being able to use this and kind of still keep it within a starter home. And it does add that kind of flavor and that color to the outside of the house that I feel like is missing. So it is good in that sense. But we are coming to the end of the video here. And like I said, you pretty much saw most of the house. It's just a box. I really do like it. I think I would love to see the type of sims that could go in here that would live here. So if you build a sim, or if you create a sim for this house, I would love to tag me on Twitter or however you want to get it to me. I don't care. I'll retweet it. I'll favorite it. I really want to see it, because I really would like to see what characters you guys build and imagine in this house. Because really, I don't have one in my head, but I have like the personality type, but not like the specific character like I do sometimes, like a lot of times I do. So yeah, we had the trash bin, and we pretty much are done. So as always, guys, fly high today and enjoy the screenshots, and I'll see you on the next video or the next stream.
I ain't hiding, I've been grinding, multiplying. I've been trying to get my weight up, staying prayed up, meditating and taking time away. You always posting up pictures, trying to look like you winning. I'm writing rhymes in the kitchen, soaking in moments we live in. Yeah, you got the nerve to be on me, faking your life for the IG. If you got my number, don't add me, cause baby, I'm on hiatus. I'm on hiatus. I'm on hiatus. I'm on hiatus. Baby, don't check for me. Taking time out to be and live my life off screen. Taking time out to be and live my life. Hey. Taking just don't be and live my life. Don't take it personal. We just building. It's my season.